Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of Discovering Home. I'm your host, Karla B. Monterrosa, and I'm so glad you're here. On this very first episode of Discovering Home, I will be sharing my why for this work. Why encourage women to prioritize home and family? Why now, and why does it even matter? My prayer is that you'll leave feeling seen, affirmed, and more equipped to take steps of faith to design the life you truly desire, one where your faith, family, and creativity flourish. I want to begin by sharing my story with you. Because before I was a stay-at-home mom, before I was writing books and encouraging women through speaking and coaching, I was where many of you are now, working full-time, striving to do it all, and silently wondering, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I began my career working in local government. Over the years, I held roles in community and economic development, managing programs that helped improve the lives of working families and small business owners. For nearly 20 years, these roles were intense, fulfilling, exciting, and very demanding. I was the yes girl. More work? Sure. More projects? Of course. More responsibilities? I love it. Longer hours, weekend events? I'm your girl. For a long time, I enjoyed my work and was good at it. I had the titles, the salary, the sense of importance. And for many years, that was enough. I was building something. I was going somewhere. I had career aspirations. And that really was the driving force behind everything I did. But everything shifted the moment I welcomed my first daughter. Leaving became difficult. Saying goodbye was heartbreaking. And the tension only intensified when my second daughter arrived. I remember coming home late, trying to make dinner while checking emails on my phone, still wound up from the day, completely spent by the time I finally sat down with them. There was a quiet tug in my heart, though, that I couldn't ignore. On paper, sure, I was successful. Inside, I was deeply misaligned and exhausted. I was always told that if it was ever too much, just say the word and I'd get more support. But the moment I did, the atmosphere in my office shifted. I went from being a yes girl to being a problem because I started setting boundaries. I started saying, I'm sorry, I'm not available for that tonight. Or, sorry, I can't make that weekend event. It was unacceptable to make room for my personal life. I knew something had to change. I asked for a meeting and told my supervisor that I needed more support. I was met with, if you can't handle it, there's the door. That was the beginning of the end. I realized in that moment that I don't matter to them. They were going to drain me dry until I had nothing left to give. And my personal life, that was a problem I needed to sort out on my own in whatever spare time I had left. My work life became toxic, and I'd bring that toxicity home. I was exhausted, stressed out, moody, and frustrated for the attention that my babies and my life required of me. It was all wrong. That's not how we should live. Years prior to that moment, I had told my husband that I wanted to quit my job and be home with my daughters. And he responded that there's no way. We can't afford that. So I kept going. I kept going until the work itself forced me to leave. If I'm fully honest here, I was on the brink of being fired because I had decided in my heart and mind that I was going to prioritize my family, even if it affected my career negatively, because they were and they are my priority. That's not a value system that is supported in many workplaces. Unfortunately, the workplace culture is one that requires all of you. You have to be highly driven, motivated, wanting more in your career. Those people are going to go far. Like I said, it worked when I didn't have kids. I started my career a single girl. But almost 20 years later, I had young daughters that needed me, and I needed to make room for them. One day, after a particularly awful day at the office, my husband said the words I had been praying to hear for years. I think you should quit. Wait, what? Are you sure? Be sure of what you're saying to me right now, because I'll do it on Monday morning. That Friday, we decided as a couple that we were going to trust God fully for our financial provision, that we were going to hit a reset button and I'd come home. Finally, after years of striving and struggling, we were aligned. It took a movement of God to get my husband there because deciding to go from two incomes to one is not an easy thing. We live in California. The cost of living is outrageous. Families are barely making it on two incomes. I understand why women choose to work. Not all women are called to come home. I understand that. I'm not judging you if you've decided to work, but I'm here to speak to the women who are in the position that I was back then, longing to make a change, desperately missing their children. That's who I'm talking to. So if that's you, I hope that you leave here today feeling seen, affirmed, and encouraged to begin taking steps of faith, trusting God with your finances, with your provision, and with your life and family. He is faithful. He cares for the sparrows. He dresses the flowers. And we are of so much more value than they. He's promised us in the word that he will not forsake us. He already knows the desires of your heart. He knows what you need. And he knows the things that work for your good. That pressure you're feeling at work, maybe it's God gently redirecting you, letting you know that you don't fit in there anymore. It's time to make a change. In 2017, I left my job. No backup plan, no blueprint, just a clear answer from God through my husband's words and a willingness to trust him fully. Initially, I thought it was just a break, but God had other plans. He wasn't calling me to pause my career. He was calling me to surrender my identity and self-reliance. And here's what I've learned. When God asks you to surrender something, he never leaves a void. He always intends to fill it with something greater. Today, my faith and marriage are stronger than ever before, and I have a clear sense of calling rooted in him. So why this? Because it has been the greatest gift of my adult life. Why now? Because I know I'm not alone. Women are tired. Homes are strained. Marriages are suffering. Moms are stretched too thin. And our children desperately need us, present, available, and unhurried. The system that's been set up for us is failing. Society is in moral decline, and moms are realizing something has to change. I think this is the perfect time. We are tired of the lie that our worth only comes from what we produce and how much we make. We're tired of giving everything to our jobs and having nothing left for our children, our marriages, or our homes. I think women are ready for a shift, for a change. Our children need us, present and available, not just in a hurried frenzy to and from all the places, doing all the things, buying all the stuff, but in the quiet, mundane moments of every day, to see them, hear them, and live alongside them, equipping them, and teaching them the way that they should go. I don't know if you've noticed, but society is in a very evident decline. Darkness is everywhere. Families are leaving their children in schools that don't protect them and that don't teach them in a way that honors their uniqueness, their individuality, and their creativity. Wondering, when will a shooting come to a school near me? Will my child know objective truth? Will they be equipped to fight the spiritual battle that seeks to steal their joy and, more importantly, their souls? This isn't about judgment. This is about clarity. There's a reason you're feeling that nudge, that pull towards home. And don't misunderstand me. This isn't a fear-based lifestyle. We're not leaving the workplace and taking our kids out of school because we're afraid. This is spiritual wisdom and a decision to live differently, to align ourselves more with the word than the world, to equip and protect our children so that they can do the work of God on this earth. When we are present and available, as life happens and issues arise, we are able to see our children speak into their lives in ways that we cannot when we are away from them for the better part of the day. Let's talk about the schools for a moment. Schools are not teaching our children in a way that aligns with our values. Christian, on Sunday, they hear that there is a creator. But if Monday through Friday they're hearing that we evolved from apes, who do you think is going to win that battle? We are in a clear spiritual war, a war of ideas, a war for souls. The making of ideas in the lives of our children begins in the schools. It's no wonder so many children are lost, confused, and don't trust their parents. Their parents may be saying one thing and the schools are showing them another. Schools are not teaching kids in ways that honor their uniqueness. They are all so different. And as such, the one-size-fits-all approach of government education isn't working. An unexpected gift of the pandemic was that it exposed that our kids aren't learning as much as they could if their education was tailored to them. During the pandemic, I saw my daughters glued to screens, attempting to learn through a technology that even the teachers didn't know how to adapt for their education. The workload was crazy. It was as if they wanted our children to be full-time employees in front of screens someday. Think about that for a moment. Our current public education system was designed in another era with the goal of preparing obedient workers. Mass labor for factories. That was the goal. What can we expect from people who spend their formative years in public schools, 12 to 16 years if they go to college? We can expect them to be well-trained in sitting down, being quiet, following directions, executing orders. Creativity, innovation, individuality, all pushed to the side. The pandemic allowed us to see that up close. It was a wake-up call for us as parents. Another hard truth the pandemic showed us: many parents realized they couldn't stand being home with their kids. I hear this all the time, especially around summertime. Parents can't wait for school to start again. And it breaks my heart because I genuinely love being with my children. I'm used to it. It's how we do life these days. But I understand because I was there once too, working full-time. The kids were home, and we were scrambling for childcare. We wanted to keep them engaged, not sitting in front of screens all day, but the work didn't let up. So of course we were desperate to send them off to school again. We have outsourced our children's days. We are missing the best parts of our children's lives and don't have the bandwidth to engage with them when they are with us. So why does this matter? We are giving all of our energy to a way of life that isn't working. Spending 10, 12 hours a day away from our families is not a recipe for strong families. It's not a recipe for strong marriages. Young people are depressed, families are struggling, and no matter how hard we try, we have a feeling that we're not having an impact on the world. Something has to change. And I'm here to remind you that there is another way. You don't have to live in a state of constant overwhelm and exhaustion. I'm here to remind you, motherhood is valuable. Homemaking is a beautiful and powerful thing to aspire to. Moms, we can have an impact on this world by raising strong and confident children. Children who know God, children who know themselves and are able to lean into their creativity. And remember, they grow up so fast. My daughters are both in high school now, and I'm facing the reality that soon they'll be adults. You are irreplaceable at home. Your job can and will replace you quite quickly. But to your children, your husband, your family, you are not replaceable. If you hired the best nanny, housekeeper, cook, it still wouldn't be you. No one loves them as much or can nurture them in the way that you can. God gave them to you for a reason and a purpose. Now, maybe this is resonating with you, but you're asking, how can we afford it? How can we live on one income? Trust me, I understand. I've been there. It can feel impossible to transition from two incomes to one. Maybe you've longed to come home for years as I did, but the numbers just don't add up. Maybe you've shoved that dream under the rug because you don't even have the mental space to figure it out anymore. And the truth is, you can't make it happen on your own. But God can. Our God is powerful, generous, and creative. He knows the desires of your heart. He provides in miraculous and unexpected ways. I'll get into some of the more practical tools that helped us make home-centered living work on one income later on in the season. For now, let me leave you with this as I wrap up. Listen to what he says in Matthew 6. verses 25 through 30. Therefore, I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? And why are you anxious about clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. I tell you, even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is alive and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? God is faithful. He tells us not to worry, but to pray with thanksgiving. And even when you don't have the words, he already knows what you need. He will take care of you and your family. Go to him in prayer. Pour out your heart. Tell him you need this change and you need his help to get there. He will provide. Yes, this change you desire is big and scary. It's going to require you to trust in God more fully. But the step of faith is also so beautiful, and you won't do it alone. Your husband will step up in new ways. God will provide in ways you couldn't imagine. And a life in which you are there, it's so worth the sacrifice. That's why I can't stop singing the praises of coming home. It's doable. It's wonderful. It's powerful. Home is holy work, and motherhood is a beautiful ministry to aspire to. I'm living proof. If this spoke to you today, I created a resource to help you begin taking steps of faith toward home. Visit my website, karlabmonterrosa.com. Take my free quiz, Is God Calling You Home into a New Season of Motherhood? You'll receive my free guide, Start Your Journey Home. While you're there, stay a while, enjoy the blog, and read more of my story. I'll end with this. I hope that today you feel seen, encouraged, and ready to start moving in the direction of more peace, more presence, and more purpose at home. And finally, if you enjoyed this episode, would you do me a favor? Leave me a 5-star review with your honest feedback, share it with a friend, and follow the show so you don't miss new episodes every Wednesday. Thanks for listening. Until next time, God bless you.